So what would you class as a mummy's boy?
Somebody that can't let go of the apron strings and is sort of constantly attached to their mother and is right under their thumb.
I think somebody who's quite close to home always, and they like to be taken care of. So I think actually they're quite demanding in relationships, but as long as the mum's around to kind of still look after them, that's okay.
I would class a mummy's boy with a boy that would want to spend a lot of time with his mum, maybe confide in his mum a lot, and maybe a little bit spoiled.
So I would say a mummy's boy is someone who looks up to his mother and someone who uses her as an influence for how he treats other women in his life.
I would perfectly agree with that. And just to add, someone that's really close to their mother and probably looks for that in the woman, probably traits of that.
Yeah.
So do you think a mummy's boy is a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's good in that they're sensitive, but sometimes maybe they're a bit too, like they're not their own man yet. So like maybe pros and cons.
I've been in relationships where my partner was a bit of a mummy's boy, and I found it quite annoying.
I always wanted to be a mummy's boy because my brother was always sort of the favourite, so I was always daddy's boy, but I didn't want to be his favourite. But my partners and their friends have always been mummy's boys, and you can tell it gets really spoiled.
If you have the right balance, because it could be overboard,
What is that balance and what is being overboard?
I feel like, the balance is having enough time to be away from your mum, to have your own mind, and also to respect your mum's opinions. That's the balance. So you're a man at the end of the day, you have to make your own decisions. And a mum doesn't think quite like a man would. So you respect her opinions, but you also have to experience, and yeah, that's me.
I think I'd agree with that. Respect is an important thing, but I think it's evident to everyone when that goes too far. But I suppose it really depends. I think a lot of men don't really respect their mothers enough because they don't know what they've been through to raise us a certain way.
If your partner or your boyfriend was a mummy's boy, for example, and was closer to his mum and would confide in her more than yourself, do you think that would be a problem for you?
Yeah, if it's interfering in your relationship, then I think so. But I suppose it depends on your relationship to the mum. I think, my mum, she's always on the side of my brother's girlfriend. So in that way, it kind of works, because sometimes my brother's really difficult, and you're like, yeah, girl power. But then obviously sometimes if they're just interfering for no reason, it can be a bit of a block.
It would be a massive problem for me. I would probably feel a little bit excluded, and maybe that he's acting like a child a little bit. I don't know, that's what I would think.
Depends on the girl. Usually, in my experience, if my mum has a problem with a girl, it's not the right one. You know what I mean?
I think I might have to agree with that. I think, even though I tried to separate the two a little bit, I feel like if my mum sees something, because she's known me long, she's kind of always right, and to date, she's been right.
And if you were ever in that situation, what would you do? How would you handle it, do you think?
I think I'd just ask them to come to me first with any problems rather than asking for a third opinion, even if it's like their best friend or their mum, and just come to me first with any problems. Yeah.
Run for the hills. If it's an only child and he's scared to stand up to her, I think run for the hills is my advice, because the mother will always be the one in control.
I wouldn't want to pry. Everyone makes their own choices. I think it's completely up to people what they want to do, but I think just be open-minded. If you've got a child that you've brought into this world and you've supported them, support them as an adult as well. That's what I would say.